Hi everyone, today's maths is not out of the workbook today, you might be relieved to hear. It is actually this worksheet that's all about, starting on the wrong side, all about using place value to add, I think it's just add actually, isn't it? We might need to use a bit of subtraction, add and subtract numbers, okay? So 4-digit numbers working with the thousands. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to follow a similar model to what we're doing in school, which is the I do, we do, you do. So what we do in class is the teacher will have a go at an example first, then we'll do one or two as a whole class, we'll do them together, and then finally the children will have a go on their own. Now, that doesn't mean that they'll then answer like 10 questions on their own. They might just have a go at 2 or 3, and then if we need to, we'll stop and we can bring it back together. Now, obviously this is going to be quite tricky because we can't do the we do. So what I've done is I've set up my maths workbook so that I have a question that's really similar to what you've got on your sheet. So what you can do is you can watch me complete the question, then you can pause the video, and then you can complete the sheet, and then you can come back, look at how I've had a go at the second question, which isn't the same as yours, but it's similar, and then you can have a go, and then you can pause, play, pause, play, pause, play. So hopefully that will work quite well for you today. So the first one is all about using our place value counters to find a new number. So this number is 4,206, but they want you to go through a process where you subtract and add different numbers to find a new number. So in my maths workbook, I have set out a different example. So I've got 3,124, but that isn't my final number because it wants me to subtract 1. So I'm going to take 1 away. I'm going to cross it out. Then it wants me to add 2 tens. So I'm actually going to draw them onto the grid. And then it wants me to subtract 100. And then I'm going to write my new answer, which is 3,000. No hundreds. It's really important that I add that 0 in there because it's holding the place of the 100. It doesn't just disappear and collapse together. Then 4 tens and 3 ones. So that's my new number. So that's an example of your first question if you want to pause and have a go. Then looking at the second question, they've used column addition to work out the answer, but there are missing digits. So this is where I might need to use some inverse to help me work out my answer. So I don't know if you can see in my book here, let me just zoom in, number 2. So I've got a similar example. Now with this kind of problem, I can use what I've got already. Now if I added 7 and 1, I would get 8. And 8 and 1 doesn't equal 7. So I'm not going to add those two together. What I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do the inverse operation, which is to subtract. So 7, subtract the 1, give me 6. Now I can check that by going back down. 1, add 6, gives me the 7. I'll do the same here. Because I'm working the opposite way, it's the inverse operation. So 8, subtract 5 is 3. And I can check that by going back the other way. 3 add 5 equals 8. Now, I don't have to do the inverse here because I've got my two numbers. So 4 add 2 gives me 6. So that's an example of the second question. Let me zoom back out. So let's have a look at question 3. So you might want to pause and have a go at question 2. If not, let's move on. So it wants me to calculate 3,204 and 2,352. It wants me to find the total of those two numbers. And it says that you can use a place value chart to help you. So this is the place value chart where you can see thousands, hundreds, tens and ones. And these are our place value counters. And it just helps us to visualise that that isn't a 1, it's actually 1,000. So again, I've done a similar example in my maths book. And I've got 1,114 and 2,131. So it wants me to find the total of those two numbers. So I've plotted the first number up here on my place value chart. I'm going to plot the second number down here. So this one has got 2,130, so 3 tens and then 1 1. So I'm going to work my way down. I'm going to add those together. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 2, and 3,000. So my answer is 3,245. So hopefully that will help you a little bit with question 3. Remember, I'm not giving you the answers here. They're similar. Page turned over. Okay. So then looking at question 4, this time it just wants you to subtract that number from that number. Now there's 2 different strategies that you can use for this. There's column subtraction. So my question is 384 subtract 122. So I could use the squares in my book. I know you guys might not have squares, but you could try and use your lines as carefully as possible. I'm using a ruler to draw my lines. And I'm just going to simply work down. We always start at the ones. 4 subtract 2, 8 subtract 2, 3 subtract 1. Or I can draw it in. So I could do 3, oh, I've got no thousands, have I? So I've got 8, no, goodness me, concentrate. 300. 1, 2, 3. 300. And, oh, that's all the tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 tens. Then I've got 4 ones. Now it wants me to subtract 122, so I'm not going to draw any more counters on. I'm going to cross them out. So how many ones am I going to cross out? I'm going to cross out 2. 1, 2. How many tens am I going to cross out? 2. 1, 2. And I'm going to cross out 100. So then my answer is 200. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 62. So that's that one. Now, question 5, I haven't done an example of because I just wanted to talk this through with you. The problem asks you to arrange the digit cards to make a 4-digit number to complete the number sentence. Now, when I first looked at this, I just assumed that was an equal sign. Now, never assume. So it isn't an equal sign. It's a less than sign. Greater than. It's been a long day. It's a greater than sign. What it's saying is whatever this equals, whatever this totals, is greater than whatever number you make on this side. And she's saying that actually there are multiple numbers that you can make with those 4-digit cards. You can't use any other numbers. It's got to be 4, 1, 6, and 7, where you could make a 4-digit number. It can't be a 3-digit, 2-digit. Got to be a 4-digit. That's going to be less. So I'd add those together, I'd find my total, and then I would find different combinations using those 4-digit cards to make a number, a 4-digit number that's less than that, because that is then that is greater, because the greater part, we always do this with our hands, don't we, with our arms, is more than this side. It's greater than. Okay, so the final question is question 6. Now, I haven't done a different version for myself for this one because it's a multi-step problem and I thought we could work through it together and then you could do the final problem at the end. So there are 5,677 people in the village, 1,952 are women, 2,803 are men, and the rest are children. Complete the bar model to represent this. So the whole bar is going to contain the whole number because that's the total. Then one part is going to be the women. The women is less than the men. So I can estimate that the children is going to be a smaller number than 2,803. So probably on my bar I'm going to plot 1,952 here, 2,803 for the men here, and then this is going to be my empty bar section for the children. Then down here we've got a lovely big space to do our working out, and what we can do is we can do a subtraction problem to work out the answer. So I might first of all do 5,677 subtract 1,952, and you can either use your you can either draw all of your oh my goodness, my brain has gone. These things, place value counters. Sorry, boys and girls. You can either draw your place value counters or you can do column subtraction. It's completely up to you. But then don't forget that that isn't the final answer. Once you've done that, subtract that from that, don't then forget you've got the answer, and you've got to take that away to find the final answer. I hope that makes sense. Sorry, boys and girls, if that last bit was a bit confusing. Let us know if you have any questions and we'll make sure we're there to help you.